Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Pastor Jarvis Marlowe Wash the first, and I am so excited to be here with you. The Takeaway Podcast, our first one of the year, 2023. It's the year for you and me, and I'm so grateful for this podcast, this platform. And I'm going to ask that you would go ahead and like, subscribe, that you would share on whatever platform you are watching or listening, and we will be very grateful for that. Our main objective and goal for the Takeaway Podcast is to drop information, jewels, life experiences that will be beneficial for you and your family for years to come. It's the first of the year, and with so many resolutions and with so many new ideas and so many fresh strategies, I thought I'd take a few minutes today. I thought I'd take a little time today and really speak about something that God was really pressing on my heart, and something, a word that I felt heavy, a word that I felt heavy the last of 2022, and why I think this may be beneficial for you. The word is to purge. Yep, purge. To rid someone of something, of an unwanted quality or condition. Purge could also be to remove a group of people considered undesirable, to remove something. It means to rid something or remove something. Hey. I got to tell this real life story about a personal experience that happened in my home. Check out what happened. I heard the word purge. Anybody around me or know me, have known me a long time, known in the last few years, last several months, plus the last couple years, I've lost a considerable amount of weight. I was wearing a size 44 pants, a couple years ago, and now I'm wearing a 36 pants, and most of those are falling off. It's like these days I'm balancing, trying to make sure I don't lose too much weight with my diet and lifestyle. I didn't change one thing. I kind of changed everything. This is not a diet series. This is not a diet takeaway, so don't worry about it. I'm not talking about losing weight. What I am talking about is, so that means I have a wardrobe from size 42 down to 38, and some 36s that I cannot wear at all. There are shirts, there are jackets, there are suits, there are tennis, there's stuff that I just don't care to wear, or I cannot fit anymore because it's too big. You see it on the screen? Too big. It's stuff too big. And listen, I'm steady buying newer clothes or buying things that fit my now, when I have things remaining in my closet that fit my then. So I want to talk through a few things that begin to drain us or stop us from purging. So the first thing is, okay, before I give you the first one, the first O, before I give you the first O, I need you to understand I didn't do it. I waited for several reasons. I'll explain that, but I didn't do it. And one home in 2022 in December, I came home and one half of my closet was on the floor, with all of these clothes that I wasn't going to wear, didn't care to wear, should have already been bagged up, boxed up, given away, or waiting to give away. They were still in my closet. I didn't purge. I heard the word purge. I knew where I needed to start the purge. I thought it was in my closet, but it led to some other areas in my life. Here's the first one. We don't purge because we wait on others. We wait on other people. I got some people close to me. I'm waiting on them to lose weight so they can be, official and ready to get the stuff. And so I waited. I waited because of others. Others what? Others' time frames, other people's expectations. I waited for what's best for them versus what was best for my closet, what was best for my lifestyle, what I had room for. I was cool to give it away, but I was waiting on other people. And I wonder, front and center, 2023, at the beginning of this year, how many people are stuffed? How many people are constipated? How many people are at overcapacity? How many people are full because you're waiting on others? Please purge. Please deal with what you have to deal with, and don't keep blaming or waiting on other people. It's your responsibility. The second reason we don't purge is because of obstacles. Let's be honest. Personally, I had no desire. I had no time, so I was in no rush. I had no desire. So therefore, I had no time. You know, you're never gonna have time. You gonna have to make it, right? You're never gonna have time. No, you're never gonna have time for nothing you want to do. You're gonna have to take time, right? So, or you're gonna have to take advantage of the time that's given to you. So since I was waiting on other people, and since I had these obstacles that started personally, because I just slide it to the side. I just put it up. I deal with it next weekend. There were obstacles. So it was my personal issues. I had no desire. So then I didn't create any time. So I said I had no time. And because I was still waiting on other people, there was no rush. So it sat and it sat and it sat. Besides others, besides obstacles, the third thing is this: we ignore the obvious. Yep, that's what we do. When it's time to purge and you don't want to, or you don't feel like you have to right now, we ignore the obvious. What's the obvious? Well, when my closet broke, I had to pay somebody to come fix it. So it costs more money when we don't purge the way we need to. You think I'm just talking about my closet, but I'm going somewhere in a minute. It costs more money. It costs more time. I made a mess. So then we had to take the stuff that was on the rack that fell on the ground and put it on a bed. And I had to sleep in another bedroom for several days until I can get the closet fixed because of the clothes I never removed. So it made a mess. And here's my question. It made a mess, so I had to make adjustments for what could have been prevented. And how many times in 2022 did you find yourself making adjustments for things that could have been prevented if you would have just purged and did what you needed to do in the first place? Wow. If I was in church, you would give me an amen. It's crazy, but here goes the fourth one. The fourth O is not just of others that we don't purge, not just because of the obstacles which sometimes are internal and personal, and not just do we ignore the obvious, but many have not purged. I'm coming out my closet in a minute. Many have not purged. You're too heavy. There's too much going on. You're juggling too much. You are not releasing stuff, and you are overwhelmed. When you don't purge, you will be overwhelmed. What you talking about, Pastor? You will have too much to deal with, too much to process. The purging process is going to help you not to be overwhelmed. There are mothers, there are fathers, there are couples, there are people who love God, there are people who are great in business, there are people who have great ideas and great intention, but you simply are overwhelmed because you're dealing with too much. You are trying to carry too much. The Bible is clear that let every man bear his own load and so fulfill the law of Christ. That's a knapsack. That's something you're supposed to carry. You can't carry. That's a backpack. That's a knapsack. That's something you're supposed to carry. But then a couple verses down, it says, let no man bear his own burdens. Let every man bear his own burdens and obey the law of Christ. But then it talks about bearing ye one another's burdens, that you fulfill the law of Christ. So is the Bible contradicting each other? No, I talk about this in the boundary series. No, one burden is a big old boulder, and you need help with it. And another burden is a knapsack. You're supposed to handle it on your own. Many times, as people, we try to be superheroes, and we try to handle things that we should have passed on. We should have given away. We should have asked for help for. We should have donated. Get it out of your closet. Get it out of your realm. You can't see the stuff you can wear. You can't see the stuff you can utilize because of the things in there that are in the way. I talked a lot about the problems, whether it was others, whether it's obstacles, whether it was obvious, whether it was an obvious crisis, or whether we were overwhelmed. But let me give you some truths, and I hope if you have to, you pause this for a minute, and you kind of just process what I said. We don't purge because of others. We don't purge because of our own obstacles that are internal, that start internal, and then progress externally. We don't purge because we ignore the obvious. We don't pay attention to what's right in front of us. And then really, we don't purge Because we're overwhelmed. We're simply overwhelmed. But let me show you how to overcome it. Let me tell you what God showed me and how to overcome it. And the word overcomes means to succeed in dealing with a problem or difficulty. Deal with it. It's on the screen. Deal with it. You got to remember this. You have to deal with it. It's not going to deal with itself. You have to deal with it by using. So here's how I deal with it. Here's how I overcome it. By using this poor lifestyle trait as a teaching tool for transformation. I use this poor lifestyle trait I use from my closet as a teaching tool for transformation in other areas of my life. Not only am I dealing with and dealt with my closet, but now I'm dealing with the books on the shelf that have several books that are the same on my bookshelf. Not only from my bookshelf, but to my garage. Not only to my garage, but to business opportunities, to ministry opportunities. I'm dealing with it. My closet problem got me looking at my whole life different. Here's one. Sort it out. Set it up so you can set it free. Sort it out. Set it up so you can set it free. So it's clothes, it's shoes, it's books, it's business ideas, it's ministry opportunities. The most opportune time is now. This is the season of opportunity. You are at the beginning of the year, and you can't run the way you need to heavy. With the few minutes I have left, I really want to speak to you, and I really want to talk about you not starting heavy this year. You're not expecting to be light, to run, to excel heavy. The Bible talks about lay aside the weights and the sins which so easily beset you. That means there must be a difference between weight and sin. Weight is something that was used to train, but it's not something you use when it's time to run. In Genesis, there's this dude, Isaac, that's going back to dig up these wells that his father had dug before and state his own stamp on the earth. The only problem is there's this famine, so water was a big deal. And Isaac dug several wells, and he started naming the wells. He named one, conflict. He named one drama. He named one this. He named one that. And he kept digging. And he got to a place where nobody had anything to say about the well that he dug. They called that well Rehoboth, meaning the Lord was making room. I said all I said today to say when you purge, when you keep going after it, when you take inventory financially, emotionally, in your closet, in your office, with your time, when you start purging, when you start taking away those things that shouldn't be there, you're going to look up and you're going to have all kind of room to enjoy the things that are there. This purging thing has to be the thing that you do first. We want to acquire more, we want to get more, we want to have more, we want to be more. But more is going to come when you let some stuff go. I have a friend, I have an aunt, I have a couple people I know who really deal with this whole hoarding thing. I didn't know it was a real thing till I seen it with my eyes. They deal with this hoarding thing, and they great, good, godly people, everyone that I'm thinking about right now. But they deal with this thing of hoarding and holding on to stuff that needs to go. What do you need to let go? Emotionally, what do you need to let go of as it relates to your house? What do you need to let go? What are you saving that you should be giving away? What are you saving that you should be throwing away? What are you saving that's in the way? Last time, what are you saving that you should be giving away? What are you saving that you should be throwing away? And what are you saving that's in the way? Takeaway Podcast 2023, January. Purge. Get rid of it. Remove it so you can walk into what God has for you. I love you. Hey, did you like? Did you subscribe? Did you share? I need you to do that.